Okay, so Chris with MuseGrid here, and let's build some more buttons. I'm going to build these downloaders, or take apart these dark downloaders. So I'm just going to make the page dark color so that when we pull them onto the page, they show up. There we go. Let's preview them. Now you've seen how we built these buttons here in the light set. So these are exactly the same as the light set. We've got some different colors and so on. But let's take a look at these ones here in the ghost versions of these buttons. So I'm going to remove these buttons here. So if you want to see how to build this type of button, take a look at the light downloaders buttons. So taking one of these apart, we see that we've actually got a couple of different parts inside again. So we've got our state button, and that acts as our container, and we've got no fade or transition effect on there, but we've just got that set to a radius of 50 on the corners so that everything matches up. And then the text frame, what we've done with this is we've applied a stroke of 2 pixels to give it that nice outline, and we're actually changing the stroke to be on the it's centered at the moment, but we could change it to be inside. We're just keeping it centered here, but we have the stroke applied to all 4 edges, top, bottom, left and right. And on the hover state, we're just changing the text and the stroke to this green. Then we have another text frame, and much like the light button set, we're using the same text frame, but what we've done here is we've set the fill to transparent, and we've put a stroke down the left hand side of 2 pixels, and again that goes from the white to the green. And we're also changing the color of the icon. Because it's an icon font, we can change its color to the green as well. When we put those together, and we notice we've also put the corner radius to 50 and the end radius to the left radius to just flat. That makes sure that everything looks nice and neat, and there's no discrepancies when you hover over the button. But when we put these items all together in the state button, pop that there. Make sure that there we go. And then we'll pop this in the corner here. Just make sure that sits nice and neat. Now it looks as if we have this this pill button with the stroke, and then we have this separator here. But the separator is actually part of this icon, so that's how that looks created. Again, something that people might create in Illustrator or Photoshop has all been done in Muse. So when we go to our hover state here, because we're using the state button, both items, the text this side and the icon with the line, they all change color at the same time, and then we get that nice consistent effect with the button. So the additional buttons, what we've done here is we've just changed the radius, the corner radius of the text, so that we have that nice that's 10 pixels or 4 pixels. So we get these nice soft ghost buttons, really easy to do just by using text frames and stroke effects. Now these ones here, these are the same thing, but they're built slightly differently. So let's take away these parts. So what we wanted here was we wanted this ghost button, but we wanted the stroke here to match up with just about with the icon size. So it's a slightly different look and feel to it. Let's just preview that again. So we get this slightly, it's a different design, but maybe a little more, a little lighter. Feels a little lighter than this with the heavy line running down there. So let's have a look how we put this together. So we've got our text frame again. We've got our stroke around, we've got our effects. But let's take a look at the actual text settings that we're using here. Now we want the text to be left aligned, but we need to make space for the icon. So how do we do that? Now some people may use a state button, put the outline in there, and then jiggle the text around to be in position. But we can do it very easily with the text tools. So we're still using the text frame, but what we've done, we've applied some left margin in the text tool to push the text along. Now the reason why we've done that is because now, if we put in here, download this now, we can just drag our button out, and you see it retains all of its dimensions, and it still retains that space from the end, and we don't have to jiggle everything around and move everything around. So from a workflow process, this is a lot faster to set your things up like this so that you can use the tools that you've got properly, and you get everything looking nice and neat and pixel perfect. So once we have that text in place, what we're doing now is we've just reduced the height. All we've done is we've taken, let's say, this. We've swapped the stroke to be, let me just select this again. We've swapped the stroke to be on the other side. And then let's switch this to this. And then we're just reducing it down. So we're reducing it down though using the spacing. So we could stick this, switch this so that all of our spacing's connected, and then we actually only want to change the top and bottom. So let's change those, move those down till we get it to where we want it to. So let's reduce those and just move those into place. Let's take a look at what settings we've got here. We were using a 2 pixels top and bottom, and then we move that into place here, and we can see that our smart guides center this item up with our text, pop that in there, and then that's nice and neat. So we can change this, we can change the text, we can change the icon, and everything's going to stay in place. And then all we've done with the other buttons is of course change the corner radius. So again, really nice and easy to do, nice and neat. Let's put everything back to where it was. We can just remove these actually, and we can just create that button. We can just modify this button by just going in and changing this, change this radius to 50, and we have our button back. So again, by using the state button and using our text tools, we've created this new button, save that out into our library to reuse it another time, and we can modify the text, change the length. Let's say we had, let's just change it to something like this. Let's say it was a search button. Let's change that down in size to there. Let's move our state button container down, and let's change this icon to go into our glyphs panel. Let's change this to, let's say, a tick here, something like that. And just like that, really quickly, we can go in and we can change this button without having to mess around moving the text in place, because we've already set it up to work pixel perfect. Okay, so that's the dark button set. Let's move on to our next buttons.